Well, good morning. I'm meteorologist Lisa Green here with a look at our forecast leading into the 4th of July holiday. We've got a lot going on over the next 24 and 48 hours in the valley. We're talking heat and we're talking storm chances too, and not just one, but two rounds coming up here. So let's talk about our first alert weather day. Again, a reminder, Friday, the 4th itself, is a first alert weather day. We're looking out for storms to develop Friday afternoon and into the nighttime hours that could turn severe, and heavy rain associated with them too. Regardless of whether you see severe or not, there's still that threat for rain to have some impacts on your 4th of July plans, and it's also going to be hot and humid leading up to that threat for severe storms. So let's talk about our headlines associated with the next couple of days. So we've got two risks that I mentioned here. The first one comes actually late tonight and overnight into the early morning hours on your Friday. And we're looking at that being more likely in the north and west. And so for us in the Red River Valley, that means in the Devil's Lake Basin especially. We're going to take a look at that threat coming up here in just a minute. And then, so those work through in the early morning hours on Friday and depart. And then the second round is possible as we head into Friday afternoon and into the evening, and that's that first alert weather day here with the potential for heavy rain. And then of course on top of that, dangerous heat. Today we're watching those temperatures start to soar, and with the heat index, that's when we factor in temperature and humidity, what it feels like on our body to be out in the heat. When you start bringing in more humidity into the air, it makes it tougher for you to cool down. That sweat that would normally evaporate, that is what helps to cool you, can't evaporate if the atmosphere is already saturated with again, the humidity that we're experiencing. And so that's why heat index is so important to take into account when we're talking about heat. And so in the coming days, we're going to be dealing with that. So let's talk about, we'll get into the details on everything here. First of all, right now, you can see behind me the Red River Valley Fair setup. It is looking nice and ready to go. It starts tomorrow, and we've got some good temperatures here right now. We're into the 70s to some low 80s. It's 82 in Fargo, looking at 79 in Grand Forks, and in Jamestown, Mahnomen, heating up to 81 at the moment. So already feeling the heat. It's not even 11 o'clock yet, and we're already into the 80s here this morning. So again, that's where we're standing right now temperature wise. I'm going to pull up this full screen so you can see it. Heat index already soaring. I'm not sure about that 101 in Gwinner. I'll have to check that one out. Might be a little too high as of right now. I'll pull up some numbers here and see if I can get some confirmation on that. But in addition to that, you can see heat index values already feeling like we are in the 80s around the region. In fact, Wahpeton already feels like it's close to 90 degrees. So we're keeping a close eye on our heat index here heading into the midday and afternoon hours. So we'll zip ahead and look at our afternoon planner. You can see that we've got temperatures that are likely to be into the, and this is a snapshot at 5 p.m., temperatures that are likely to be into the upper 80s to some low 90s, and wind chills that, excuse me, wind chills, heat index that feels like number when we're talking about summertime. Maybe you're hoping for a wind chill right now with this hot day. We're looking out for that heat index to be in the mid 90s, perhaps even getting close to or reaching that 100 mark. That's the number on the right here. That's your heat index in Sisseton at 98, temperature of 91, heat index in Aberdeen 99, temperature of 96. And both Brown County in South Dakota and Roberts County are under a heat advisory for today. And that's where you see our greatest likelihood of seeing the highest heat index values. So again, heat building in for today and for the next couple of days. The one thing that might cool us down a little bit or prevent us from warming up as much is this little disturbance moving in. You can see some clouds. There's been a little lightning northeast of Bismarck, and this is weakening as it moves eastward, but still something we're watching on the radar and satellite map. We'll see clouds on the increase heading into midday and into the afternoon before that clears to the east. I'll zoom out a little bit here if I can pull out. Looks like we're stuck on that arrow. Let me see here if we can switch over. There we go. So I've zoomed out. Takes a minute for the satellite to catch up. In case you are planning to travel today for your 4th of July destinations, you can see that Central Plains over into more parts of the Midwest are looking pretty quiet right now. It's more active down toward Texas. and the Red River Valley of the South, down toward Texas and Oklahoma here this morning. So let's take a look at our risk again. We are talking about chances for severe weather in 2 rounds. This one that you're seeing here, this is for a 24-hour period it started at 7 a.m. today and will end at 7 a.m. on Friday. So it includes the daytime and overnight hours. And these risk areas are more for those overnight storm chances I was telling you about. And you can see it stretches from Dickinson back through Bismarck and Minot, Devil's Lake area, northeastern North Dakota, and just a sliver of northwest Minnesota, including Kitson and western parts of Marshall County, under that slight risk. Surrounding areas that's a level 2 risk, and then surrounding areas in a marginal risk or level 1 risk, and then it drops off from there. So we'll have to have a way to be alerted overnight tonight for severe storms in case any move through, because again, it's going to be more likely when you're sleeping during the overnight hours. And so let's take a look at tomorrow, our 4th of July. Now the risk doesn't look as great, but the issue here is that it's happening when we have a lot going on in the valley with the holiday happening, and we're watching out for the potential for heavy rain too, in addition to that marginal risk. So much of eastern North Dakota into Minnesota, you see Devil's Lake, chance for storms, but not necessarily severe storms. That's an area that may end up behind the front, in the wake of the front, and so as the storms develop, so you're less likely to see that there tomorrow. So let's get into the forecast for today. We're looking at, this is the forecast for Friday. You can see that temperatures are going to be toasty, getting into the low 90s for your Friday, and we're going to have the humidity on the high side, and then we're looking at the potential for storms for Fargo into the late afternoon and into the evening hours. Unfortunately, right when a lot of people are out at the first day of the fair, the early part of the day, if you're heading out in the morning hours, heading out for lunch out at the fair, you're less likely to be impacted, and then you'll have to be more weather aware as time goes on into the nighttime hours and for fireworks for Friday night. So something to keep in mind, these are going to be scattered storms, so that doesn't necessarily guarantee that we'll have a thunderstorm moving through the FM area at that point in time, but it's a possibility, and it's something we need to be prepared for. So now let's get into the forecast. So we're going to start off with Friday morning. You can see that we've got the remnants of the storms that moved through overnight in the Northern Valley, Devil's Lake area, back over into the Northern Valley, heading into the Lake of the Woods area. Those will be departing there. And I'm sorry, I didn't set this up, and I should have, to show you the threat for tonight. I'll do another video here and post it on our Valley News Live weather app, and I'll do that there, and I'll also post it on our Facebook page and Twitter account as well, just so you have that timeline for tonight's chance for storms too. But I can't go back. I'm not near the weather computer right now, so I can't go back and bring that up. But just so you know, again, we're looking at that first round of severe tonight. We'll bring this back up. And you can see that we're going to be getting some strong wind. It's going to be very warm and muggy in the morning hours on Friday to start. Now, moving on into the midday, we've got temperatures heating up. We've got sunshine, especially in the south, and temperatures approaching 90 degrees even as we get close to the noon hour. So again, some real heat building in. Heat index values again could get close to 100 in some areas. So don't let the heat sneak up on you either. I know we've been talking about the storms, but the heat can have some big impacts. If you're going to be outside, find ways to cool off. If you're going to be at the lake, that's perfect. Jump in the lake. If you are not, make sure you take some air conditioning breaks. Make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. And yes, water is hydrating. I know it's a celebratory time, but alcoholic beverages can be dehydrating. So make sure you're drinking water with that. And of course, coffee can dehydrate you too in the morning hours. So again, just make sure you're drinking extra water tomorrow. So then let's move on into the later day, the afternoon and evening. And I'm going to step over here so we can see the full map, and so I can point to some things here. So it's going to be around, this is the 4 o'clock hour. It's going to be around that afternoon time frame into the early evening, where we see along wherever the boundary sets up, and that's still uncertain where exactly that's going to happen. But we'll start to see development. This is 4 p.m. This particular scenario has those storms developing over Jamestown at 4 p.m. Doesn't mean that's exactly where it'll be. Again, I just want to stress that, but it is a possibility. And then as we go through time, we'll move ahead here a couple of hours. You can see kind of a broken line of thunderstorms filling in, that potential for some supercell thunderstorms popping up here from Baudette, back down through Grand Forks to Fargo could be in the mix, and then back down into that James River Valley area. And this is again around 6 p.m. Let's move ahead now into the later hours, 8 p.m. You can see those storms advancing eastward. Meanwhile, places like Devil's Lake could see the rain and thunder, but as I mentioned, we may be behind the front at that point, so you're less likely to see this severe. And you could see the ongoing chance for rain and thunder. This is 8 p.m., perhaps right over Fargo. Fingers crossed that we don't have severe storms, and fingers crossed that the rain and thunderstorm activity in general doesn't pass over any of the big fireworks events. But we've got to be prepared for that. It's going to be windy to go with this too. I should mention, just environmentally speaking, the wind will be on the stronger side into some 30s. And then moving on into the 10 o'clock hour, there it is. Again, some areas not getting rain. We may, not see it until very late in Lakes Country. So that would be a good thing for you if you want to hold off on the rain and enjoy some fireworks, if this scenario is what ends up happening. But then there will be places, again, that will be seeing some rain and some thunder showers during fireworks time. Moving on into the late night hours, this continues to transition eastward. This is in the 1 to 2 o'clock time frame, and then that continues to move on from there. So again, looking at a severe weather risk, we've got a marginal risk for tomorrow. For most places in the valley, everyone has a shot at getting rain and thunder showers tomorrow, but the risk for severe storms will be along the front, and then as it moves eastward, it will increase there. And you can see most areas included in this. So marginal risk means an isolated threat, a 1 out of 5, so it's on the lower end as of right now, but still for the afternoon and evening, but still we're looking out for the potential for hail, 1.5 inch diameter, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. And while it's a low risk for this event, I can't rule out a tornado possible as well with any of these storms that pop up. So we need to be weather aware for the event as it moves through. So let's take a look at our rainfall potential. I'll bring this back up full here, and you can see that there are areas that this is now through the entire course of the next few days. So it includes tonight's rain chances, and this model, I don't know if it handles tonight's chances as well as others do, but it does show where the heavier rain is more likely into Friday and Saturday, and this goes through the whole weekend, though I do expect Sunday to be a little quieter with more sunshine coming up for Sunday. But you can expect to have some areas getting in that 1 to 2, maybe even as high as 3-inch range. And there is the risk, we could see the potential for some flash flooding with storms on Friday night. So another concern to watch out for here on our first alert weather day. So let's take a look at our July 4th fireworks forecast. So again, a reminder, not everybody will see storms at any given time in the valley, but at any given time in the valley, somebody likely will once we get into Friday afternoon. Hopefully that made sense. But you can see that for West Fargo, we're forecasting for the Red River Valley Fairgrounds, there is that potential for stormy activity. And we'll be seeing temperatures around 10 p.m. into the 70s. So temperatures will be really nice. We'll be coming down from the heat of the day, but we're going to need to pay attention to what's going on with the weather. Make sure, a couple of things I want to stress here with the severe weather risk, especially heading into a time when people are going to be out of their usual places and maybe away from where you might be able to be alerted or to seek shelter. If you're going to a fireworks event, if you are going camping this weekend, if you're going to be staying at somebody's lake place, visiting them, just know and find out where the storm shelters are in those locations and have that plan, that severe weather plan for wherever you happen to be, especially if you're going to be camping or in an RV. Those are places that are not safe to be during severe weather. So I just want to stress that again, that a lot of us are going to be out and about doing, celebrating the 4th. We want to make sure we have a place to go, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that you have a way to be alerted. Have your phone's emergency alert system turned on with it so you can get those emergency wireless alerts. And then you can also set your VNL weather app to alert you where you are located. Again, if you're going to be traveling away from your usual location, from your home, you can set that to alert you as well. And of course, NOAA Weather Radio, also a great tool. So let's take a look at the next couple of days after today. Today's going to be hot. Friday is going to be hot too, but I want to show you what's coming. So we are dealing with our chances for storms and our heat on Friday. You can see a lot of areas in the 90s. Again, if you're out west, still warm, but if you end up, behind the front, you may not be as hot as some other places. I think Lakes Country, southeastern parts of our viewing area may be some of the hottest places tomorrow, and muggiest as well. And then for Saturday, the front clears, and so you can see temperatures coming back to more comfortable numbers, some upper 70s to some low 80s coming up for Saturday. So places like Detroit Lakes into the upper 70s. And if you can see here, we also have some rain chances still lingering. I'm not looking at heavy rain, but there is the possibility we could see an isolated shower, thunder shower, especially in the east where the front will be last to depart. So bringing back up our graphics here, you can see that on our muggy meter, we are looking at some relief in sight, but the next couple of days are going to be pretty tough. We're going to be on that steamy side today and into Friday before relief comes this weekend. And let's take a look at our weekend forecast, our weekend planner. If you're heading out to the fair Friday, again, a reminder that we have that chance for severe storms. We are looking at highs in the low 90s. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy, and then we're watching out for rain and thunder later part of the day on our first alert weather day on Friday. And then this weekend, looks like some great days out at the fair. Saturday, you'll want to keep an eye on the radar with that chance for some rain, but temperatures more into the upper 70s and low 80s. Sunday will be a quieter day coming up for the day on Sunday, and not nearly as hot. So a couple of days to look forward to as we're still dealing with the heat and with the humidity here and beyond. We can see that we've got temperatures that are going to be 70s by Monday with some storm chances and some 80s coming up for next week. Throughout the course of the fair, it's going to be nice and warm, but we'll have some times where we need to keep an eye out for the potential for some weather that could turn on that stronger side for storms coming up next week. So that's a look at today and tomorrow. Again, I'll do a video coming up here on our weather app and on social media to cover our timeline for storms for tonight. We just went over Friday's timeline, and we'll continue updating you here. The weather team's going to do another update this afternoon on how things are looking as we get more model data in. We will do more updates as the day progresses tomorrow too, so make sure you check back with us for the latest right here. And of course, your VNL weather app, you can take our forecast, our radar, and those alerts with you wherever you happen to be going on the 4th. So have a happy and safe 4th of July, and stay tuned for more updates on our storm chances as we head into what's going to be an active stretch here over the next